إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. No doubt about it, your only real friend, protective friend, is Allah and His Messenger. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and those who believe. But those who believe is too broad, because those who, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا includes the weak, the strong, everybody. So Allah added a construction and added a qualification to الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. Those who believe that happen to establish the salat and give the zakat, وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ, and they are making ruku'. Now, وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ is a jumla ismiya, while they're in ruku'. So jumla haliya, which is interesting. They're making salat while they're in ruku'. They're giving zakat while they're in ruku'. What does that mean? I thought ruku' is only in salat. Raka'ah here is in the original meaning of raka'ah, which means to be humbled. To be humbled. Meaning they have this humility in their establishment of salah, and they have this humility in the truly humble believers that accomplish these things with the right attitude. So Allah didn't just mention the actions, He mentioned the attitude in وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, and whoever would befriend and take as a protector Allah and His Messenger, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and those who have iman, in other words, those who have iman as described before, فَإِنَّ حِزْبَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ, then the party of Allah, Hizb is a party that has an agenda. A strong group that has an agenda is called Hizb. حِزْبَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ, they're in fact the ones that are going to be dominant. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَكُمْ هُزُوًا وَلَعِبًا مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَالْكُفَّارِ أَوْلِيَاءَ. There's a long sentence, but to understand it easily, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا, all this people, أَوْلِيَاءَ. يعني لا تتخذوهم أولياء. Don't take them as protective friends. Now the question is, who is them? That big chunk in the middle of the ayah is who this them is. Don't take الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَكُمْ هُزُوًا وَلَعِبًا. Don't take those who have made your religion take and something to play around with. مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ, that belong from the people of the book. مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, the people, those who were given the book much before you, they belong to that group. وَالْكُفَّارِ, and they also belong to the disbelieving community. Don't take any of them as awliya, protective friends. Now that door is closed. Reinforcements are coming, one after the other. Here's your protective friend, they're not your protective friends. Don't turn towards them. Don't rush towards يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ. They rush towards them. Don't rush towards them. Allah is closing those doors for the Muslims of Mecca and this newly formed Muslim community. Because at this point, allegiances and alliances are everything. Especially for an exponentially growing population. They're a huge population. If we're raising a generation of Muslims that don't know much about their religion, them hanging out with their atheist, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, whatever friends, the more they hang out with them, the more their ideas and the idea of where Islam stops and where those ideas begin, it starts getting blurred. And as they grow up, when they learn more about Islam, it becomes alien to the Muslim. It's alien to the Muslim. Why? Because he heard these things from his friends and he got used to that being normal. And now as he's learning more, he's thinking, Islam is weird. It's not what I thought it was. I thought it was a lot more normal than that. And now instead of being turned off from those alien ideas, they're alienated from Islam itself. So just like we talk about our children being influential, people that are new to Islam are also easily under the influence of outside forces. That's the context of these ayat.